Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV, also to the QueenAShakur TV show and the original QueenAShakur show. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. And so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hello, Dolly, Afro and Afro Sheen, Yusuf, Woke One, Melanated Brown, Black Women Stand Up, King Yahip, Vince I Am from the UK, Ian Knight is in the house. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, so let's get it popping. I am Bass, Melanin A1, Judah Queen, V Maltzby, TJ, HH, Sexy One, Trisha, Maurice, Kenya, Creative Vibes. All right, Eric and Glamour Diva, I see you. Okay, so let's get into it. I hope everyone is up to a good morning. Also, for my moderators, hey Ramsey7, for my moderators, I need a moderator. Hey Ray Williams says, Queen, we just love to we love to just have you on the scene. Thank you, beloved. All right, so listen, I need the moderators, at least one moderator on every channel. All right. I thank you in advance. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, please go ahead and like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so first things first, let's talk about this nefarious Facebook killer. Everyone get the likes up. Let me make sure I have the right receipt. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, so let's talk about it. So many of you have probably heard by now that this crazy demon murdered a woman live on Facebook. And of course, the video has been removed. But it just goes to show how crazy people are these days, right? And I clearly think this man was demon possessed, honey. He was babbling and talking crazy, you know, incoherently. And also, not only that, the fact that he did this live on Facebook, okay? So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. So the Baton Rouge Police Department was called to a location on Sherwood Forest Boulevard on Monday night. Now, officers arrived at approximately 9:52 p.m. and immediately initiated an investigation into reports of a deceased female. And this is according to the Baton Rouge Police Department. Okay, so they say the investigation led to the arrest of Earl Lee Johnson Jr., who's 35 years old. He is currently being held in EBR Parish Prison with no bond. Now, BRPD found the body of a 34-year-old Janice David of Baton Rouge inside a vehicle at this location on South Sherwood Forest Boulevard. And so, like I said, honey, this is all so crazy. This man is clearly nefarious, and I absolutely think that he is possessed by demons. That's just my opinion. Okay. Ramsey says, have you heard about all the food plants across America that have been catching on fire? They setting up the situation. You know exactly what they're doing, beloved. Manufactured famine, as I've been telling y'all for months. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that insight and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Everyone, in the meantime, please hit the likes up. Please like and share. Now, the first video I'm going to show is the press conference. The last one, the second one, will be clips of this fool in the car right before he killed the woman. But, of course, they're not going to show that. It's blurred out, okay? And so let's get into it. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thanks in advance.
Is there anything you want to say, man? you know how it go. I got to rap to him like him and Al hung out. You know what I'm saying, man?
I understand.
Yeah, who's talking?
Yeah.
Both y'all?
Both of them.
Both y'all talking?
You sure?
Microphones I need to
Who
hold.
on?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Who was walking?
That was Russell Williams and Reese Jenkins. Both. Yeah.
CE?
SE.
SC.
SE. Corporals. Yes. The blue shirt is Russell. The lighter shirt was Reese. And the officer that was there, in case you have pictures of him, is DeMichael Robertson. D-Michael. D-E Michael, and then Robertson. Robertson.
Alrighty, just give us an overview about how y'all got this guy here today. You know, we unfortunately saw.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was just looking down. Yeah, she was saying.
Just the fact we heard everything about last night was awful. Tell me the process. Walk me through it.
Well, very gruesome. Initially, we made contact with this individual around 5 p.m. yesterday evening. He apparently had stolen someone's car. The victim came out, saw that he was in the car, notified authorities. We put a bolo out for the vehicle. We made contact with that vehicle. It was a sharp pursuit. After that, we were able to apprehend him. So we had him in custody prior to learning of his actions involved with the Facebook Live video. From there, someone saw the video, notified Facebook. Facebook then notified State Police. State Police notified EBR. EBR conducted their investigation. They found the vehicle with the deceased inside the vehicle. They contacted us. We launched our investigation, had a recording of the video. We already had him in custody. We interviewed him. He admitted to committing the killing, and then from there, as you see, we walked him out, and he's now in police custody being charged with first-degree murder.
Can you tell us what time Facebook notified police and how soon afterwards you started?
It was all quick in process. I don't know exactly the time that the person notified Facebook and the chain of events happened, but it all occurred yesterday. We believe that he dropped the car off, and shortly thereafter, that's when he made contact with that other vehicle in person, stole the vehicle shortly after leaving there, because everything was in the same area where we found the vehicle and where the other vehicle was taken. So everything happened in the South Sherwood Forest area.
The BMW was one of the cars that was stolen?
I don't know exactly what car it was that was taken.
Has the victim's family been notified? Have you talked to them? Were they just surprised or in shock still when they figured this out? Happened?
Yes. Victim's family has been notified. Everybody is in shock. What we do believe is that they had been on at least a 3 to 4 day drug binge together. And from there, during the course of those events, at the end of it, he choked her, he beat her, and he stabbed her. And then from there, he tried to set the car on fire. So apparently they were involved in some drug usage together for a couple of days, and as end result, as you everyone has seen on Facebook Live, is very gruesome, very very evil act.
So the family knew who this man was?
No, I don't say they knew him, but the family is aware. Okay. You know what happened. We made contact. There was some association between them two. I don't know how long they've known each other, but from what we believe, they had been together for at least 3 days.
Is that based on what he's told you?
Information that we've got, yes.
They was how many times she was stabbed?
I don't know. It's still under investigation, and the coroner's office will conduct an autopsy, and they will be able to give us all that information.
Can you release the victim's name?
Yes, I have it in a news release. I will give you that information as soon as we leave here.
In addition to the several days of drug use between the two, is there any other motives that you know of so far that could have caused this?
Not that we know of, no. Any other questions? Y'all good? All right.
Name, or is it
confronts David. You can hear her begging for her life.
I started that now.
He choked her, he beat her, and he stabbed her. And then from there, he tried to set the car on fire.
Earl Lee Johnson Jr. allegedly went on Facebook Live and took David's life in front of an audience inside of a car in Sherwood Forest, stabbing her roughly 50 to 70 times, according to a source who asked to remain anonymous.
Apparently, they were involved in some drug usage together for a couple of days, and as end result, as everyone has seen on Facebook Live, is very gruesome, very, very evil act.
At one point, over 200 people watched the live as comments scrolled across the screen saying WTF and OMG as David slowly started to fade away. You can see her hands tied together with cords and blood in her hair as Johnson Jr. mumbles nonsense to the spectators. Eventually, someone notifies Facebook, who turned to the police.
Someone saw the video, notified Facebook. Facebook then notified State Police. State Police notified EBR. EBR conducted their investigation. They found the vehicle with the deceased inside the vehicle. They contacted us. We launched our investigation.
Johnson Jr. was already in police custody for suspected car thefts when authorities were notified of the alleged murder.
We interviewed him. He admitted to committing the killing. And then from there, as you see, we walked him out and he's now in police custody being charged with first-degree murder.
Ariel Salk, NBC Local 33 News.
Okay, so that is really tragic. And did you all see the look in his eyes, completely void of any type of emotion or humanity? He clearly looks demon possessed. Okay, I don't know if he's on that venom, but something about him wasn't right, honey. And babbling incoherently, what was he even saying? He clearly looks like he has some serious issues. What kind of drugs were they using? He looks like he has a mental problem too. Well, let me tell you something. Drug use can cause mental health problems. It can also bring on demonic possession, okay? Because when you engage in drugs, especially when you abuse them on a regular basis, right? They take you out of your right frame of mind, okay? And so that allows these malevolent spirits to enter. And so that's exactly what I think it was. They said he stabbed that poor woman 50 to 70 times. And did you all see how he was sweating so profusely? And just ranting and talking crazy? I never said that's right, Queen. Thank you, beloved. So, yes, he did it live on Facebook. That's just also crazy. Can you imagine the people sitting there watching that live stream when this all happened? They said there was at least 200 people tuned in while this was going on. Also crazy, honey. Right? Yeah, Boondoggle said something about his eyes. Hold on. It says something else in there with him. Eyes reveal what's in the soul. Absolutely. I absolutely believe that. Okay? Absolutely. And so anyway, that's a tragic turn of events. King Yahib says a drug-fueled satanic murder. Absolutely. And so anyway, October says definitely possessed. I believe so. So let's talk about this other demon, honey, because the demons have taken to the streets and they're clearly running amok. All right. This is all so nefarious. Now listen to this story. A grinning perpetrator accused of raping a four-year-old twins spits on a post photographer. So hold on, I'm going to share my screen in just a second, but let's talk about this. And so a demon accused of raping four-year-old twins in Pennsylvania flashed a huge grin and spat at a post photographer on Wednesday following his arrest in New York. Now, Isaiah Metz, who was wearing pajama bottoms and no shoes, laughed immediately after firing the spitball and screaming, "Biatch!" All right, as he was hauled away by the cops in Manhattan to criminal court. Let me tell you all something. This man, too, looks like a demon. I want y'all to pay attention, honey. I don't know if the venom has people out here acting crazy, but something is not right. Now, the 22-year-old sporting unique bright red hair had both of his hands and feet cuffed after being nabbed hours earlier in Yonkers. The accused fiend had allegedly attacked 2 NYPD cops when they tried to take him into custody on the heinous sex assault charges at a Midtown homeless shelter on Tuesday morning. So Metz, who is accused of punching and biting the cops before fleeing, had to be tased when fugitive task force officers eventually caught up with him late on Tuesday. And so he was briefly hospitalized before being brought into the Midtown South Precinct, where he was slapped with a slew of charges, including assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, and criminal trespass. Now, the suspect was initially being sought for allegedly raping the young twin girls after he was adopted into a foster family in Goldsboro, Pennsylvania. He is facing a total of 115 charges, including for child pornography offenses in the horrific Pennsylvania case. Metz is already on parole for allegedly attacking another cop in Pennsylvania. Honey, this man's a whole demon too. He's clearly crazy, all right? Clearly crazy. And then he raped 2 4-year-olds, children of the family that took him in. This is also crazy, honey. You try to help people out, and this is the things you often get. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and show you all some pictures of this idiot, and then we're going to get into the video clip. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Also, let me ask you all something. How is the sound? Is there any issues with my audio? Because yesterday I was hearing static, and I tried to fix the issue. I thought perhaps that it was I thought perhaps it was my phone, because I did an update right before I went live yesterday, and the static didn't start until then. Okay, so people are saying yes, popping. Okay, so crackling. Okay, so after I finish this live, just bear with me, people. After I finish this live, I'm going to have to call Apple, all right? Okay, so he said same as yesterday. Okay, so let's just continue on, honey. We're going to have to bear with it. I'm going to share my screen. Lights up. Everyone, please like and share. Okay, here we go. This is him right here. This is the demon. Look at him smiling and grinning after he's done all of this crap.
Hey, why'd you rape those children? Why'd you rape those children? Why'd you rape those children? Why did you rape those children? The children that you raped. Why did you do that?
No, I'm sorry, but that was a complete demon. Oh, that's MK Ultra all day, says Sean. So he's supposed to be Vince, cut it out. So I'm telling you, all these sick things that people are doing, do you realize how many stories I have reported in the past 2 or 3 months about people murdering their children, giving drugs to their children, leaving their children at home in closets and cages with feces all around, all kinds of sick stuff. What is going on with people, honey? Now, I know there's always people doing these things, but lately there seems to be a spike in the nefarious, heinous behavior. Have y'all noticed this? If he goes to jail, he is dead, dead, and dead. Why take a male in your house amongst your daughters, says HH. You know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, and especially someone at that age. That's what I would not be doing. And because you don't know what someone is capable of. You don't know if they have mental health issues or any of those things. I just get surprised when people have young children and they bring in strangers around them who they don't know much about. So anyway, that's just really sad for the family. And I'm quite sure that they're very, regretful of helping him at this point, honey. It's just also saying. Tasha said some people just need to be dead. I'm sorry, not sorry. When you start doing things to the children, you don't even need to be living. Well, I agree. I absolutely agree. I sure do. So now let's talk about Michelle Obama's brother and his wife. You know, it's always ironic to me, you know, when some of these people get their ninja wake-up calls. All right? Because Michelle and Barack Obama didn't do anything about the racism that was being perpetuated upon Black folk while he was in office. And in fact, there was a huge spike in the murders of unarmed Black men. And Barack never did or said anything, all right? And so now racism's come knocking at his door. Because even though this hasn't happened directly to him and Michelle, it's happened to her brother and his wife. Okay, so now what are they crying for? What they want us to do, help them? Because they sure to do anything to help us, honey. All right, so they can miss me with it. But let's talk about it. Because they say Michelle Obama's brother and his wife sue a Milwaukee private school alleging racial bias. Isn't that something? Not so fun when the rabbit has the gun. They didn't care nothing about racism, honey, when it was affecting all the rest of us. They had nothing to say. Pay attention. And as I told you all before, Michelle, in fact, used to work at a hospital where it was her job to let poor Black people know that they couldn't be accepted and treated there, all right, because of their insurance or lack thereof. She had no problem doing any of that. At the end of the day, honey, as far as I'm concerned, they don't care nothing about Black folk. But now, as I said, here it is, her own brother has experienced racism. He and Becky. Let's get into it. Michelle Obama's brother and sister-in-law sued their children's former private school in Milwaukee, alleging that the two boys, were unfairly kicked out after they raised concerns about racial bias. So Craig and Kelly Robinson enrolled their sons, who were 11 and 9, at the University School of Milwaukee, or USM, in 2016. Now, school officials expelled them last year, claiming in letters that the Robinsons had violated the school's common trust and had not fulfilled their commitments as partners with USM, according to a lawsuit filed Monday in a Milwaukee court. So they're trying to say that they didn't do what they were supposed to do and that they were going around talking trash about the school. And so that's why they kicked their kids out. This is what the school is saying. Now, of course, you would have to notice that it's very ironic that all this happened after they complained about racism. And I want you all to pay attention to what the racism they complained about, to what type of racism they complained about, what was going on, because it's very interesting because these people are always going on about critical race theory. Okay? They don't mind being racist. They just don't want us talking about racist. Okay? Make that make sense. So let's talk about it. So the Robinsons say the school retaliated against them because they verbally complained and filed bias incident reports about offensive classwork assignments, according to the lawsuit. They say it just seems to be unfair that they've retaliated against a 9 and 11-year-old for something we brought up to help the school. This is what Craig Robinson, Michelle's brother, said. Okay. Now, the couple said they chose USM because it ranked as the best school in the region and marketed itself as valuing diversity. However, in November of 2020, they told faculty and staff members that some of the language in various worksheets and projects was offensive to persons of color, persons with disabilities, Indigenous Americans, and other underrepresented students, according to the lawsuit. Now, in January of 2021, Kelly Robinson submitted a bias incident report, through the school's bias incident reporting system about classwork that included harmful content toward underrepresented students. Now, she filed a second report in March of 2021, and similarly concerning language in a separate assignment. They say the lawsuit says the school acknowledged that it received the report, but took no further action. So they complained to the school about racism, biased assignments that would make other children, feel offended perhaps. And the school didn't do anything. They just basically said, yeah, we got your complaints. What now? I left it at that. And so the Robinsons say they were shocked when they received a letter in April of 2021 informing them that their 11-year-old son had been denied re-enrollment, according to the lawsuit. And in June, they received a second letter telling them that their 9-year-old had also been removed. Well, here's the thing that I think is so stupid. If you're complaining about racism and bias and homework assignments that perpetuate the two, why are you still trying to enroll your children there? That's crazy to me. I never understand that. It's like some Negroes want to beg the supremacists, the wanton supremacists, to allow them into places and spaces that they're not wanted. If they're being racist and teaching these things that are clearly racist and detrimental, I wouldn't even want my child or children to continue going there. But they still try to send them, and then now they're only filing the lawsuit. I want y'all to pay attention. They didn't file a lawsuit against the school because of the racism, because they obviously didn't have too much of a problem with that, though they did complain, but that wasn't such an issue for them that they would take their children out of that school. They still tried to enroll them there. So pay attention, honey, because the real reason they're suing the school is not because of racism. It's because the school kicked their kids out. Okay? That's how that goes. They're suing them because they kicked their kids out, not because they're racist. Isn't that crazy? If I was going to sue them for something, it would absolutely be because they're racist. So anyway, let me continue. So in both letters, which were obtained by NBC News, Stephen Hancock, the head of the school, accused the Robinsons of failing to fulfill the foregoing commitments as partners of USM and engaging in disrespectful conversations about staff members as well as teachers. So basically saying they were talking trash. Now, Hancock ended the letters by asking the Robinsons to find other schools for their children, like take them somewhere else, honey. You want to come here and complain about our racism? Honey, we're not going to stop being racist. So what you need to do is take your little kids and put them somewhere else. All right, because we run this. This is white supremacy. Y'all didn't know. They got the ninja wake-up calls. Pay attention. Now, while a part of this broader pattern of wrongful conduct, the school's treatment of the Robinson children was targeted directly at them, notwithstanding their model behavior, and therefore was particularly egregious and harmful. Now, defendants' unprecedented and draconian action to remove two minor children of color at that, from their school at impressionable ages was traumatizing, they say. The school, which charges about $30,000 per year for tuition, they said in a statement that the school community, that it could not comment on specific matters related to the lawsuit, but it did deny that the children were removed because of the parents' complaints. They said, we cannot and will not tolerate persistently disrespectful, bullying, or harassing behavior directed at our devoted and hardworking teachers and administrators. This is what Hancock said in a statement, honey. Such conduct that makes faculty feel unsafe not only violates our common trust pledge and parent-school partnership, but it also interferes with USM's operations and precludes a positive and constructive working relationship between the school and the families we proudly serve. Let me say something. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the language that they used in this statement, because he said such conduct that makes faculty feel unsafe not only violates our common trust. So basically trying to say that there might be some violence, basically trying to imply that, oh, there might be something violent that they're going to do now. We don't feel safe. You know why they say that and use that type of verbiage? Because Michelle's brother is black. That's why. You see, his wife is white, but because he's a black man complaining about their racism, so now they want to have the go-to phrase that they always use, the angry black man, right? The brute, the violent Negro. That's where they want to go with it. Now, we probably know good and well those people didn't do anything that would even lead them to think that they would in any way, form, or fashion be unsafe. All right? Because here's the thing. If they actually felt unsafe, there would have had to have been something said or done that seemed threatening. And had there been, don't you think they would have called the police? and press charges, or at least filed an incident report of some sort. But since they didn't do any of that, honey, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, I scarcely think that these people did anything to make them feel unsafe. That's just a talking point they love to use and put on Black people to make us seem so violent when we already know who's inherently violent. And so Hancock went on to say the school takes great pride in the supportive and inclusive community that we intentionally strive to create. For that reason, we embrace diversity in all of its forms, Hancock said. Now, the lawsuit further alleges that the school failed to discipline white students who used racial slurs. Well, of course, they're not going to discipline white students who use racial slurs because they're racist. The whole school is racist. And they have a nefarious system of wanton white supremacy that they all indulge in. So, no, they're not going to do anything about that. They didn't send their parents, and I want you to pay attention, because they didn't send the parents of those two little racist devils, or however many racist devils it is, that was using the racial slurs. They didn't send letters to their parents telling them your kids can't be re-enrolled because they're saying racial slurs. They didn't do anything to that sort, right? Pay attention. That just further proves their racism. Now, the children used racial slurs, acted in a racist manner towards students of color, or threaten students of color based upon their race. Well, here's another thing. If your children are Black and they're going to a school that perpetuates and encourages racism, this is what you'll get. Now, the reason I feel like they encourage racism at this school is because of the homework assignments that they gave, which I'll get to momentarily. But at the end of the day, if they're, giving out homework assignments that knowingly make Black children feel inferior and make other children feel superior, what do they expect? Of course, the children are going to do that. They're going to behave that way. I mean, we saw years ago on the experiments, right, that Jane Elliott did when she separated her class in half, and she had some of the students with blue eyes get on one side and the ones with brown eyes get on the other side. And she told ones with the brown eyes that they were, superior to the others. And then so they started acting that way. And so this school is literally doing that when they have these children acting like they're slaves, the Black children, because that's what they did. Okay? They had the Black children acting and pretending as if they were runaway slaves. But they wanted to send their kids back to this school. They wanted to send their children back. And let me tell y'all something. This is why I think this is all so stupid. Because they literally complained about the racism, but still tried to re-enroll their children there. How does that make any sense? That's like a woman who's abused and she's continuously getting beat. And then she comes and talks to her girlfriend and complains on a regular about getting beat. And her girlfriend's telling her, you should leave. He's not going to stop. Why don't you just leave? But yet she keeps going back to the abuser and then every day complaining about the abuse. It makes no sense. This is the same exact thing as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, they go on to say it also alleges another incident that took place before the boys enrolled. According to the lawsuit, fourth grade students were forced to participate in an underground railroad situation. But they don't want us to talk about critical race theory. Pay attention. They had them participate in an underground railroad situation in which students of color were told to act like runaway slaves as staff members pretended to be the slave catchers. Y'all hear this? Now they had these little Black kids acting like slaves, trying to run away to freedom, while the white staff members pretended to be slave catchers. Now hold on, because it gets worse. Now the students would then navigate through dark hallways and classrooms while staff members played sounds evoking whips, chains, and the horses galloping, according to the lawsuit. If the students did not participate, they faced either receiving a low grade or failing to pass the fourth grade, according to the suit. So if these kids went home and told their parents, Mommy, Daddy, they're making us act like slaves and they're chasing us and they're the slave catchers, and the parents say, wait a minute, you're not going to participate in nothing like that. What's going on here? And the kids go back to school and don't want to participate. Oh, now they're going to fail them. So it's like they put them between a rock and a hard place. But they wanted to send their children right back to this school. So were they really that upset about the racism? Now, the school continued doing the simulation into the 19. They continued doing the simulation into the into 2010, and stopped only after multiple students of color and USM parents complained, according to the lawsuit. So they knew all of this and still let their children attend that school. Honey, this is all so crazy. Queen Candy J says, say what? Apparently not that upset. Okay, exactly. So Never says prison and slave training. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pink Blue says they need to be arrested on crime against humanity against Black children. So let me share my screen so you all can see this picture of Craig Robinson. That's Michelle's brother and his wife. Okay, likes up, please. Like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance. That's them. So as I said, he clearly got his ninja wake-up call, honey, all right? Becky, she probably doesn't really have so much of an issue, you know, because she doesn't have to necessarily directly deal with racism. And likely, she's probably the one who wanted the children to still attend that school. And I'm sure he was all for it, because we know how that goes, okay? Oh, yes. Belinda said, oh, he has a Karen. Yes, absolutely he does. And that's why I say, honey, don't come crying to Black folk about racism when it comes tapping on your door. Because at the end of the day, Barack nor Michelle have ever done anything spoken out about any type of racism or any of those things when Barack was in office and even after he left. That's what they have not done. All right. So let them fend for themselves, honey, and do whatever they got to do, because that's what we've always done. Is what we've got to do. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning Black in. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. You can also follow the QueenAShakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Now, I have got to find out what's going on with this audio, honey, because this is really getting on my last nerve. All right. So anyway, I thank you, Sally D says, great broadcast, Queen. So Terry said, Craig married racism. Okay, please. Now he wants to complain about it. Miss us with all of that. All right, Black Women Stand Up says, thank you, Queen. Well, you're welcome, beloved, and thank you. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. All right, and I hope to see you all in the next chat. Proud Black says, wow, you can teach. Hold on. Proud Black says, wow, you can teach that shite in school, but not CRT. Exactly. Now make that make sense. See, here's the thing. I'm going to leave you all with this. They don't have a problem, and when I say they, I mean the white supremacists. They have no problem making Black children feel bad about themselves, humiliating, demeaning, right? Black children, making them feel less than and inferior. They have no problem doing that, honey, reminding them of slavery and what their ancestors went through and letting them know that we can treat you the same way if we want to, because we're Mayo and we said so. They have no problem doing any of that, but what they don't want to do is for any Black person to discuss racism, complain about racism, and no teacher better not dare ever under any circumstances teach about critical race theory, because they don't want their children to feel humiliated, downtrodden, inferior. You know, they don't want them to feel any of those things, but they don't mind for our children to feel that way. That's also the reason you will see numerous video footages of the police jacking up little 9 and 10-year-old kids, putting them in the backs of police cars and handcuffs, going to the schools, arresting 5 and 6 and 7-year-old Black kids because they had a tantrum, and taking them off to jail without even notifying the parents or guardians until after the fact. But you will never see them do that to Brad, Chad, Amy, or Becky. That's what you won't see. They want to traumatize your children. They want to humiliate and demean them and subjugate them. That's what they want to do, and they do it on a regular. So all this protesting and just talking words, it's not going to help. It's time to start taking action and doing something that is going to be substantial. And I would advise all of you to really seriously consider homeschooling your kids and teaching your kids the truth of their history and also the truth of the history of the very oppressors that they have to encounter on a daily. All right. So with that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and light. Enjoy the rest of this day. Remember, do something productive and constructive, never destructive. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. And I hope to see you all later for your daily vitamins. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay myths, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the